For the final economic update in this first half of the program, I want to talk to you about the big item in Washington these days, and that is tax reform. Now, I use the word reform with triple quotation marks around it, because reform is not really what it is. It's a tax cut. Mr. Trump and the Republican Party have a tax cut in mind. It's a tax cut for wealthy people. Oh, of course, they wouldn't say that. That's not good politics in America. So they talk a large bit of nonsense about cutting taxes for poor people and working people and middle-class people. They use those phrases every chance they get. It's nice, the words. They really are nice. I appreciate the words. The problem is when you look at the proposals, and they've been short on specifics, but they give you a general idea, here's what it amounts to. Number one, the big tax cuts go to businesses, not individuals. And here's the big one. They want to cut the corporate profits tax, the tax companies have to pay on their profits, that is what they earn less their costs. They want to reduce that from 35% to 15%. That's a whopping big tax cut for businesses. The second thing they want to do is to say to companies who haven't paid any tax on their profits because they keep them abroad and therefore they don't have to, that if they bring them home, we'll give them a real good break and they'll only have to pay 5 or 10 or 15%, a kind of incentive to bring that money back into the United States. And what does the incentive amount to? An enormous tax cut. These people avoided taxes in a way that was unpatriotic and burdened the rest of us with making up the difference. And now we're going to give them, in effect, a reward for not having paid for as long as they got away with it by keeping the money abroad. These are wonderful, big gifts to business. I want you to keep in mind a little fact of history. 50 years ago, for every dollar the federal government raised by taxing individuals, it raised $1.50 by taxing corporations. Today, for every dollar the federal government taxes us as individuals, it gets 25 cents from taxing corporations. The last 50 years have seen a shift of taxes off of business onto individuals. And all that Mr. Trump and the GOP are doing is more of the same. It hasn't solved our economic problems. It hasn't gotten our economy bubbling. Quite the opposite. But for them, who cares? Because that's who they serve, and that's what this tax reform is really about. But we're not done. When it comes to individuals, the proposal so far would be much more valuable the higher your income. It's again a tax reform that gives small cuts to folks in the middle and the bottom in the hopes that they won't notice the huge cuts that are given to the people at the top. If you listen to the Republicans and the president, you'll get the impression that we're all getting a tax cut, because that's the game. But I'm here to tell you that if you look at the concrete realities, as many other than myself are also doing, what you're getting is same old, same old. Tax cuts for those at the top, the business top and the individual top. And for the rest, nothing. Nothing significant. Nothing that will change the basic contours of your life. And for those of you that voted, either for the Republicans or for Mr. Trump, in the hope that a big tax change would come down the pike and alter the circumstances of your life, you have been betrayed. No other way to put it. And if you expect anything fundamentally different from the Democrats, don't.